So now, Richard, we're going to be launching Richard Trembath.
Yes, we are.
He thinks it's a good idea. For anyone who doesn't know Oscar, he's obviously our puppy. He is 6 months old and he will be, hopefully, a seeing eye dog if he passes. He gets a bit spoiled in here because he is actually in here with our staff all day, and he's quite a good distraction, I have to say, but yes. So he's allowed to be a puppy, but if he's naughty, feel free to tell him off because he has to learn manners. Okay, so Richard, this is Richard's book. Hot off the press this morning. Do you know how nerve-wracking it is when the book isn't here for the launch? Let's just say I was talking not so nicely to someone at the printers yesterday because it was meant to be ready yesterday. But anyway, we have it and I think it looks gorgeous. Richard has been coming to our open mic night for quite a few months, most of the year, I'd say. And reading from his poetry. He has another collection which is also up on the back table. Both of them are available for sale tonight for $25. Obviously these are first edition, so make sure you get your copy tonight and get it signed. And I'm going to let Richard have a chat with you. Yes, welcome.
Thanks, players, and thank you, Oscar, for the vote of confidence. I know I'm the one that's been getting the publicity through Busybird newsletter, etc., but I just want to say that I know that tonight is not all about me. I've got a lot of my family and friends here, and I thank them very much for coming. And I know that a lot of the rest of you have come probably not knowing anything about this and have come merely to support Busybird and well, I can hardly call it an ordinary night, but one of the nights that is not quite as special, at least not to everybody else as it is to me, as tonight. It's difficult to explain the process. This book has been basically most of the content of it has been sitting on my desk for probably the past decade, waiting for a benevolent publisher to come and knock on the door. I was very lucky 19 years ago that the other book there, that a benevolent publisher did decide to take it on. He didn't actually knock on the door, I had to knock on his. But as you grow older, you sort of realise that the knock on the door is probably not going to happen, and if you want it to happen, you've got to do something about it yourself. You've got to make it happen. And that's where Busybird came in, and I've got to say that my thanks go to Busybird in the whole of the staff, but Blaze in particular, who has been fantastic. We've had quite a few little hiccups along the way. I think, well, for those of you who think that it's easy, I've read the book from cover to cover 6 times in about the past 3 weeks. So if you'd like me to recite the whole thing, I can probably do that. But once we get the process underway, well, we've got the finished product, and yes, I'm quite excited about it because well, as I said, it doesn't come easily. And I'm going to have to look at my notes in my pocket to work out what the hell I was talking about. Yeah, I was talking to Blaze just a couple of days ago, and we were marvelling at the fact that Shakespeare and Tennyson and Keats, etc., could get their work out without the benefit of technology as we've got it today. How in God's name that ever happened is totally beyond me. So far as being a poetry book or poetry and short stories, I guess you've got to ask why would you want to publish a poetry book? Because no, I said. I think we all know that there is not much of a queue at the poetry counter at Dimmock's, but it's probably a personal thing. I think any writers, and there are plenty of them here who've been writing over the years, you know when you've written something worthwhile, and hopefully you know that when you've written something that's not worthwhile. And really, there are probably very few of us who leave any real legacy behind, but we don't know anything about them. And I think the only things that really endure in this world are the arts, literature, music, painting, that sort of thing. While I don't, I'm not sort of getting carried away about the importance of this book or the importance of anything in it, but as I said, as you age, you sort of look around and you think, well, what have I really done? And the answer is probably not all that much. You might have done a few things that are recognised at the time and might be remembered for a short while after you've dropped off the perch. Not yet. But I think that with this, as I said, you know when you've written something that you feel is worthwhile, and I just got to the stage of thinking that the alternatives were to leave it in the drawer or to try to make this happen. I suppose, while I don't, as I said, without getting too wrapped up in how important any of it is, I think if 50 years from now, one of my great-grandchildren or one of your great-grandchildren pick up a copy of In the Company of Strangers and find something that they like and wonder about the bloke who wrote it, well, I can ask nothing more than that. Where are we up to? Thanks for the prompting, Oscar. The next thing that you think about is whether you want your work to be in the public domain. Because a lot of it's very personal, and you realise that once it's in the public domain, it no longer really belongs to you. It doesn't matter what it meant to you when you wrote it. What any poetry or any short story or anything really means once you've released it into the public domain, it means what it means to the reader. And the reader might not interpret it exactly the same as you do. Just as an example, a couple of kilometres away, and to post 6 copies to her was going to cost about $30, so I thought, well, the smart thing to do would be to deliver them to her. So I took them round and asked the obvious question. I said, why would you want 6 copies of this book? And she said, I've got 5 friends who are all widows, and there's a beautiful poem about death in the book. And I didn't know what she was talking about. I had written the poem as a love poem, and once we talked about it a little bit, I sort of understood what she was talking about. But I'd written a love poem. I never thought of it as being anything other than a love poem, and she thought it was a poem about death. So that's what I mean by the work is what it means to the reader. And I've read this poem in public twice since then, once at a wedding and once at a funeral. And I'll read it to you now. It's called Without You. Without you. Without you, this room is just a room. These walls are only walls. Without you, this day is just another day, and I care not about it, and notice not if it be fine, or clear, or dull, or if it really be a day at all. Without you, I remain in limbo, thinking not, nor doing, and without ambition, save to see your face. Without you, I am just a shell, dormant, and awaiting to be brought to life by your mere presence, to be enraptured by your smile, your touch, your spoken word, to feel the surge of life within my veins, brought there by your existence and the knowledge unbelievable that you are really mine and that you care. These walls become a haven, and this room the world, and I have no desire but to be alone with you, alone or in a crowd, for just to be with you together is alone. To love you and to feel the bond of warmth, intangible but there, invisible and yet as real as we ourselves. A bond of warmth and peace and confidence, serenity, which though unseen could not be hid from any who observed us. And I care not who knows, I want the world to know and be a better, warmer place for having known our happiness. And if it brings some joy to those who walk this world without love, mere observers, that can but add more lustre to the joy of knowing that we have what they have not, and being thankful that it came to me and you. Why we should be the chosen ones, I do not know. All that I know is that we are, and that we have each other, and that all else matters not. Before you came, the world was here, and I was here, and I was, in my way, content, oblivious. But now it seems unreal to think that in those days before you, I imagined that I knew of life. My life began with you. My life revolves around you and exists because of you. Without you, this room is just a room. These walls are only walls. This world is emptiness without you. I'll read you one more poem, but there's just one little point that I'd like to make, and this is aimed purely at sales, nothing else. Obviously, you're going to read books and buy books, etc., over Christmas for people, and but if you think about it, you buy a novel or you read a novel, you either like it or you don't. You buy a book of poetry and short stories, you get 40 chances. There are 30 poems and 10 short stories in here. If you can't find anything that you like out of 40, well, I've got a problem. Anyway, the title poem from the book, In the Company of Strangers. We live our lives in the company of strangers. How little we know of the hearts of the men who surround us. How seldom we see but a glimpse of another man's soul. We each tread our own distant journey that only we know of. And strangers pass strangers, all bound for the bell's final toll. 'Tis seldom we know of another man's thoughts or his essence. Only he can decide what he shows us and wants us to see. And if he decides to guard secrets and keep his own counsel, he will never be known to the world, nor to you, nor to me. We're alone when we start on life's journey, wherever it takes us. And alone we will be yet again when we come to its end. And in transit, our lives are surrounded on all sides by strangers. And the best we can hope for is one we can truly call friend. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Richard. So at the end of the readings tonight, we might urge Richard up at the table for anyone who would like to have their book signed. We have credit card facilities as well. So I would like to now officially say that In the Company of Strangers by Richard Trembath is now launched.